Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Andy, and welcome to this week's Team Kentucky Update. If it looks a little different, it's because we're in the Capitol Rotunda, because today's update is exciting, and we've got a whole lot of people that are a part of it that you're going to be hearing from today. But we're going to start where we always start, with a red-hot economy providing more opportunity for Kentuckians than we've ever seen. Since I became governor, we've now announced over 1,100 new location or expansion projects for a record $35 billion of new investment in us, in Kentucky. Those investments have created more than 60,500 new jobs that have the best three-year average for wages that the state has ever seen. And three companies that have contributed to that momentum just celebrated some exciting news this week. On Monday, I joined local officials from Bakery Express Midwest to cut the ribbon on the new Boone County location. This project included a more than $20 million investment, and it's going to create over 225 full-time jobs in the region. Bakery Express is a commercial bakery manufacturer that makes and distributes fresh products to over 4,000 retailers across the country. You'll find their baked goods in many places, including Wawa convenience stores that are going to be opening across Kentucky in the coming years. I want to thank the company's leadership for allowing me to join them, because the ribbon cutting is truly the best one of those events. The announcement is the hope, the groundbreaking is the progress, but the ribbon cutting is when lives are changed, people are employed, and it means a better future for the region. So again, thank you to Bakery Express Midwest. This is also their Midwest headquarters, and excited that their Midwest CEO moved his family to Kentucky, truly making this his new Kentucky home. I also got to join another exciting company in Boone County this week to celebrate its grand opening of a $12.2 million facility, creating 250 new jobs. Its new facility is locating in a freshly remodeled office and production facility at CVG Airport. The investment is from L2 Aviation, and it's yet another example of a company believing in what this great state has to offer. If you're on a commercial airplane and you have Wi-Fi, it is probably because L2 installed it, put it together, and now that work is going to be done out of northern Kentucky. I'm happy to have gotten to celebrate this exciting next step for the company and the northern Kentucky region. I want to thank L2's leadership and their commitment to Kentucky and congratulate them on yesterday's grand opening. Also on Wednesday, I had an opportunity to join L'Oreal to celebrate their accomplishment in being certified as an OSHA VPP Star Site, a significant achievement that only 19 sites in Kentucky hold. The company has a significant presence in Kentucky, with Florence being the home to the largest L'Oreal manufacturing facility in the U.S., and it has a distribution facility just down the road in Walton and Hebron. The company employs about 480 Kentuckians. I was proud to have recognized them as Kentucky's Governor's Safety and Health Awards last year, and this is yet another award on top of that. So many products that you see in the beauty sector aren't just made by L'Oreal, they're made here in Kentucky, including CeraVe, the lotion, as well as a number of hair care products. If you turn around their bottles and it has 48 on the back as the start of that serial number, it means it was made right here in Kentucky, and it's pretty exciting to see Kentucky-made products on the shelves all over the world. And finally, back in February, we kicked off the 2025 Coolest Thing Made in Kentucky tournament. This is an annual contest with our great partners at the Kentucky Association of Manufacturers to put a spotlight on all amazing things being made in the Commonwealth. I am proud to recognize Lion First Responder PPE as the latest winner of the Coolest Things Made in Kentucky contest. This is a company that continues to grow in eastern Kentucky, and highlighted by the opening of its Lee County facility just over 3 years ago. I had the opportunity to visit two of their facilities, including the Lee County one, that created 75 jobs for families in that community. The company's V-Force turnout gear for firefighters is manufactured by our great people of eastern Kentucky in Beattyville, West Liberty, and Hazel Green. And that means firefighters all over the country are protected when they go into that burning house or burning building by something done and made right here in Kentucky. Not only is it one of the coolest products we make, but it's one that keep our amazing first responders safe. I want to thank Lion for continuing to make great products in the Commonwealth and for believing and trusting in us to get it done. With that, I'm going to turn it over to our First Lady to recognize the month of the military child and our proclamation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, Andy and I are honored to recognize April as Month of the Military Child with some of our Team Kentucky heroes, military children whose parents serve at Fort Campbell, Fort Knox, and in our Kentucky National Guard. Thank you to Karen Lamberton, spouse of the Adjutant General of Kentucky, for joining us today as well, and thanks for all you do to support our Guard members and their families. Kentucky is fortunate to have the best National Guard in the country, as well as 2 major military bases within our Commonwealth. Our soldiers work tirelessly to keep our state and country safe, and while they serve, their families serve too. To each of the kids here today, I want you to know that while you might not wear the uniform, we know that you make sacrifices well beyond your years that help protect millions of people, including other kids just like you across our country. It does not go unnoticed, and we are really proud of you. Next week, I get to visit Fort Campbell to celebrate Month of the Military Child with students on base. I've been able to meet families on both bases during my time as First Lady, as well as families in our National Guard. I am always amazed by their resilience and flexibility, especially during times of crisis. I want to make sure you also get to hear some of their stories directly from them. So first, I would like to bring up Carly Collins, Corbin Collins, Kinsley Collins, and Kyler Matos from Christian County. Their dad is here with us too, Master Sergeant Christopher Collins of the 101st Airborne Division at Fort Campbell. I know Carly's going to say some words.
What it means for me to be a military child is to always be strong and look forward to the positive things. Having a parent in the military has always come with hardships, constantly moving and never being able to stay in one school or neighborhood, or the fears and sadness that come with deployments. But after you get past the thorns, you will always find the rose. Constant moving just provides more opportunities to meet new people or see new places, and watching them get off the airplane when they get back is always a moment of joy and relief. Having a father in the military means living with both pride and sacrifice. It means knowing your dad as a hero, not just to you, but to the country. It means missed birthdays, holidays, or even just a good night hug. But it also means learning strength, courage, and resilience from the person you look up to the most. It's hard, yes, but it's also inspiring because every day you're reminded of what it means to serve something greater than yourself. It's a great honor for me to have a father willing to risk his life for this great nation.
I think we're done with the Team Kentucky update now. Thank you. That powerful and well-spoken. We also have 3 students with us from Fort Knox. They are Ariana Leon, Fort Knox Youth of the Year, Haley Bagley, Fort Knox Junior Youth of the Year, and Charlie Peggy, I'm going to say it so wrong, I'm sorry, Charlie Pegues from Fort Knox, who's the Emerging Youth of the Year, and Pegues, I got it, okay. Would you like to say a few words?
Yes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow civilians and fellow military family. I am Ariana Leon. Unlike other military children, I have not always been a military child. I grew up a civilian lifestyle my whole entire life, until about 2 years ago. But in those 2 years, I have not only seen a lot, but I have learned a lot. I've learned about the struggles that military youth have, but also the advantages. When I was welcomed into the military lifestyle, I found it eye-opening, life-changing, and very exciting. Being a military youth is not only freedom and adventure, but it's becoming new beginnings. Us military kids move around, but I want you guys to remember we are not only the military, but we are one big family all together.
That was the second mic drop of the day. Thank you so much. Finally, we have Madison Wertzler, Ethan Stollard, Isaiah Thomas, and Alexander Krause with us, whose parents serve in our own Kentucky National Guard. So Madison.
Thank you, Governor Beshear, for issuing the proclamation that states April is the month of the military child. Less than 1% of Americans serve in the military today. So 99% of Americans truly don't understand what it's like to have a parent in the military. They don't understand that it's more than missing holidays, sports games, graduations, and many other special events. It's also backlash from your peers, lonely nights, and fear for your parents' safety. It is not our choice for them to serve, but we have to adjust and live an adaptive lifestyle to meet the needs and to keep this country safe. This month should help military children all over Kentucky know that no matter if your parent is in the Army, Navy, Air Force, or Marines, or whether they're active duty, National Guard, or reserves, we are all united in that our parents chose to risk their lives to serve this country. This month should help show children that our adaptive lifestyle is ultimately the reason that we are still the land of the free and the home of the brave. Thank you.
Well spoken. I think we can all see why our military children are so amazing. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us and for sharing your families with us as well. Because you all are so amazing, today you are our Team Kentucky All-Stars. I can't get that out. I'm going to try it again. You are our Team Kentucky All-Stars. So thank you again. And with that, Andy is going to sign the proclamation recognizing April 2025 as Month of the Military Child. So if all of our military families would like to come join us.
How about Kentucky's First Lady? All right, now I've got a quick update on our recovery from this most recent flooding, the 14th federally declared disaster that Kentucky has pushed through in the last 5.5 years. First, Brittany and I ask you to join us in continuing to pray for the families of the 7 Kentuckians we lost in this flooding. We've now reached out, and thanks to that Team Kentucky Storm Relief Fund, We'll be paying for each of those 7 funerals to make sure that's just one less burden on those families during their time of grief. I also want to share that on Friday, I requested a major disaster declaration from President Trump, and we're waiting to hear if it has been approved. The declaration is important because state agencies, local governments, and Kentucky citizens have been significantly impacted by this event. The greatest impact has been felt by families who had their homes flooded. Significant costs will be associated with the loss of property and home repair. And unfortunately, this storm struck many areas that have been flooded time and time and time again. In this request, we first ask for individual assistance. That can help individuals impacted in the select counties to have immediate needs dollars, dollars for cleaning supplies, and up to a little over $40,000 to rebuild their lives depending on their application. We also ask for public assistance to help our counties and cities recover, as well as direct federal assistance. The first request for that group of 3 was for Anderson, Butler, Carroll, Christian, Clark, Franklin, Hardin, Hopkins, Jessamine, McCracken, Mercer, Owen, and Woodford counties. We've also requested public assistance and direct federal assistance for a number of additional counties, including Barron, Gallatin, LaRue, Owsley, Campbell, Greene, Lawrence, Pendleton, Elliott, Greenup, Lee, Spencer, Estill, Hickman, Logan, Union, Floyd, Johnson, Muhlenberg, and Washington. And we have also requested hazard mitigation for the entire Commonwealth. Now we know that more counties than just those, especially that first batch, have been impacted. But what we've learned is the disaster declarations are typically issued faster, and it's a better process to take some of the most heavily impacted that we have the most information on right now and go ahead and get the disaster declaration. And then we add other counties and other areas to it. It's how we've done each of the past 5 or 6 declarations. So if your county's not listed on that first group, we're still working for you. This is just the process we've worked through each and every time. I've already had conversations with FEMA's leadership and provided this as sign they know this is going to be a very large endeavor where we're going to have disaster recovery centers in dozens of counties. They understand the way that we're doing it, and they have the expectation that if the President signs off on the declaration, that we will be adding more counties as we go. In other updates, we still have about 3,035 meters without power. Most of that goes on and off as people are making different repairs. Sometimes you have to turn off that power to do it safely, and then you turn it back on. Incredible work on our water systems. We only have 1 system in the entire state that's not operational and 1 with limited operations. We only have 854 households under boiled water advisory after a major flood. For that to happen that quickly is pretty incredible. To give you an update on our boat crews, we call them urban search and rescue teams that we pre-positioned around the Commonwealth knowing that this flooding was going to happen. They saved 142 lives that we can currently document, and they made 293 evacuations. All teams have now been demobilized, meaning they're back with their families. A special thank you to Georgia Task Force 6, Vermont Task Force 1, Maryland Task Force 1, North Carolina's task force, Virginia's task force, and everybody else who came in to help us during our time of need. We'll be there for you too. Public Health has also received shipments of tetanus and hepatitis A vaccines. Remember, during flood cleanup, it's important to have your tetanus vaccinations up to date. Floodwaters can be contaminated with sewage, and therefore the hepatitis A vaccination should also be considered for anyone doing this work. We still have 25 shelters open across the Commonwealth, and 402 individuals are being sheltered in them. We also have a call center. Call center number if you still have needs from the flood. That number is 502-607-6665. Grateful that our transportation cabinet has been working as hard as they can to get all of these state highways and roads open. At the height, we had more than 500 just state roads that were impassable. It's now down to under 200. We have 166 that are still closed by flooding and 9 by mudslides. Remember, if there is water over the road, do not drive through it. Never go around barriers and never move barriers. In our February flooding, we lost a number of people that should still be here with us because they tried to drive through water or because barriers were moved. Let's all look out for each other. We don't want to lose anybody else as we do this cleanup, so please be careful. Transportation Cabinet staff are also continuing bridge inspections and damage surveys. We have 51 areas of damaged roadways so far. We've done 258 bridge inspections. 11 are what we call with findings. They're safe, but there's still some work that we need to do. 3 are closed. Those are in Marshall, Graves, and Trigg counties, and 50 that have debris on them but remain open that we are working through. It looks like there'll be more damage to uncover, but thank you to those that have been working nonstop since this started to open up the ways we get to our work, our schools, our churches, and once again, do not drive through water. You can check goky.ky.gov to keep up with road closures. Kentucky State Parks are continuing to shelter 73 people at 2 state parks. Additionally, from previous floods, we have 89 people at 3 state parks. The Team Kentucky Storm Relief Fund is still open. The fund has now raised just over $1 million. Again, that starts with paying for every funeral, both from the February flooding and the most recent, and then helping people in their time of need. I want to thank some new donors, Keeneland for donating $10,000, also to South Elkhorn Christian Church in Lexington, Winchester's Ale81, and American Legion Post 20, the Boone County Extension Homemakers, and the Allen L. Leichart Endowment Fund in Frankfort. If I mispronounce that, I'll say it again next week and get it right. But thank you to everybody. You know, these floods can wipe people out. And I've seen so many people staring at what used to be their home saying, where do I start? But the amazing part is about 10 people show up, and they always say, why don't you start with me? It's amazing to see the humanity of Kentuckians, the kindness and the love, and you never see it more than at times of great difficulty. And the way a lot of people help is through giving to that fund. 100% of it helps Kentuckians. It is 0 administrative fees other than the credit card processing, 100% transparency. Okay, now I've got an update on our County City Bridge program. Kentuckians deserve those safe, modern roadways when they're driving to work, taking their kids to school, or going to church. So today I'm excited to announce new opportunities for cities and counties to upgrade that critical infrastructure. We're awarding $8.2 million in the second round of the County City Bridge Improvement Program. This is a program we recommended and the legislature authorized in the 2024 budget session through the Transportation Cabinet's budget. This is one of several important programs operated by our Department of Rural and Municipal Aid. Our people deserve the best, and this is another program that makes sure upgrades are happening at the local and regional level. So today, 15 counties and 3 cities will receive a combined $8.2 million for 22 projects. The funding will build 12 new bridges and repair 10 bridges. And once the construction is complete, they'll reopen 8 bridges that have otherwise had to be closed. Remember, with Kentucky's geography, bridges are a vital link to so many of our people, so we invited some local officials to talk about why this is so important to them. First up, a word from Judge Executive Phil Baker of Logan County. His community will receive $600,000 to replace a bridge on Liberty Church Road. Okay. He is appreciative of the $600,000 to replace a bridge on Liberty Church Road. Next, we have Judge Executive Jim Martin of Fulton County, who video also isn't going to play, but he is receiving $980,000 for 2 projects to replace and reopen bridges, one on Sawmill Road and one on Crutchfield Road. To those judges, we're going to make sure that we get those videos out on social media. It's important that people recognize the importance of infrastructure, and these judges took their time to put together a special message of why these are so important to their citizens. But with us here in person, so this one's going to work, we have Scott County Judge Executive Joe Pat Covington and Georgetown Mayor Bernie Jenkins. Together, we're awarding $1.3 million. $969,000 will replace and reopen 2 county bridges, one on Mount Horeb Road and one on North Rays Fork Road, and $342,000 will repair a weight-limited city bridge on Clubhouse Drive. Congratulations. This one's for you. And, Mayor, we're not going to let you leave empty-handed. This one's for you. You want to say a word about projects?
First, thank you. Thank you, Judge.
Oh, the judge will hold the money.
That's what I'm afraid of. Thank you, Governor, very much. Give me a minute to get this back, pull this back up for us. The Clubhouse Bridge project consists of a new steel support, structural beam with protective coating, sandblasting, and painting. While this bridge is not currently at risk for critical failure, the funding awarded will allow the City of Georgetown to proactively address deficiencies. We anticipate heavy growth in this area of our community in the coming years, and I'm thankful for this funding, providing us the opportunity to address infrastructure needs on the front end of this growth. Governor, thank you all very much.
Thank you. Judge?
Governor, thank you for having me here today, and the mayor as well. And on behalf of the Scott County Fiscal Court and the citizens of Scott County and Georgetown, we're very, very grateful for these funds. Scott County has over 70 bridges and culverts throughout Scott County that run on 300 miles of county roads, and the City-County Bridge Improvement Program will provide the funds to repair, and in our case, replace 2 bridges that have been closed. And it's very, very critical funding, very timely with the recent floods and bad weather, extreme weather. This program couldn't be any more timely. So very grateful for the program, Governor, and your leadership. Very grateful the State Senate and the House and their leadership for allocating these funds. And then also great communication from Secretary Gray, Commissioner Bobby Joe Lewis and their office, and then as well as Kelly Baker at District 7. I also want to recognize one gentleman that's here with me today, J.R. Brandenburg. One of the people that are on the front lines all the time, working with KYTC, out in the middle of the night, making sure bridges are safe, roads are safe. And JR, we thank you for all you do for Scott County. So with that said, you know, these funds mean real progress for Scott County and Georgetown, and the timeliness of them also. Getting these back open will help our community move forward. School buses run on these roads, first responders, and farmers as well. So thank you so much, Governor, and appreciate the opportunity to be here at the Rotunda with you today.
All right,
Thank you.
Leadership, Scott County happens to be in the Capitol as well today. Got a chance to meet with them, and Judge, what I told them is I'm always for Scott County unless Will's playing them in baseball. Just split a couple of games with Great Crossing over the last 2 nights. Other projects will take place in Callaway, Carlisle, Graves, Trigg, Hickman, Marshall, Montgomery, Butler, Nelson, Washington, Kenton, Mercer, Elliott, and Mason counties. Next, we've got some exciting news that took place earlier this week in our medical cannabis program. Team Kentucky is dedicated to ensuring that every Kentuckian that has a qualifying condition has access to medical cannabis. And we're committed to ensuring that every new business, from cultivators to dispensaries, can thrive in their new Kentucky home. That's why I'm happy to announce on Monday, Team Kentucky broke ground on the first medical cannabis cultivator in the state. Centaurus Farms is a Tier 2 cultivator that will employ dozens of Kentuckians. A year ago today, I signed a bill to move up the timeline for medical cannabis licensing by about 6 months. That gave us the runway to get these businesses up and running faster. So with us today is John Paella of Centaurus Farms to talk about this facility and what this historic groundbreaking means.
Good afternoon, everyone. First off, I want to thank Governor Beshear for his leadership and opportunity to join you today. It's an honor to speak directly to the people of Kentucky about a project that's incredibly personal to me and my family. My name is John Paella, and I'm the founder and CEO of Centaurus Farms. For the past 15 years, I've been building and operating cannabis and real estate projects in complex and highly regulated environments. I have helped launch operations that focus on quality, consistency, and patient-centered care. On Monday, alongside state and local officials, as said before, we had the privilege of breaking ground in Kentucky's first medical cannabis facility. We planned every part of this new facility in Monticello with the same values in mind. Well, what makes this project truly special to me is Kentucky itself. My mom is a special education teacher in Berea, and she attended EKU, and this state and the people in it have been a second home to our family for a long time. That personal connection is a big reason why this work matters to me. It's not just a project, it's a chance to build something meaningful in a place we care deeply about, and a home away from home. That's why we chose Monticello. For the first time we visited, we saw a community that was ready to grow and that shared our commitment to the quality and care. We're proud to be investing here and excited to build lasting partnerships with the people of Wayne County. Our goal is simple: to bring safe, secure, and consistent medical cannabis to the patients across Kentucky. We're not cutting corners, we're building a state-of-the-art facility that harvests every single week, delivers tested and trusted medicine, and creates meaningful jobs for our local residents. We're already planning more than 100 local positions from entry-level cultivation to advanced laboratory technicians and extraction specialists. We're building a workforce, not just a facility. Many of those roles will be specialized with opportunities for training, advancement, and long-term growth. We're excited to grow that team right here in Monticello and to make this place a place where people can build lasting careers. We're also looking forward to working closely with regulators to help set the standard for high-quality medicine in Kentucky. This is a new industry here, and together we can build it the right way from the ground up with safety, compassion, and community at its core. So again, thank you, Governor Beshear, for your vision in bringing medical cannabis to Kentucky. We're honored to be part of this moment, and we can't wait to get to work.
Thank you. Very exciting. I think it's just a good example of how we have been working to very carefully build this industry out with safety and the patients first. At that groundbreaking, we had a county judge, we had the mayor, we had the sheriff. I mean, this is everybody coming together to make sure we get it right, and that's the goal, making sure that we get it right. We're not the first. Actually, we're pretty close to the last state that is implementing a medical cannabis program. And what that means is we've been able to learn the best practices and avoid some of the mistakes that we've seen out there. So grateful that we've got an experienced operator that's helping us do this, but his operation here is a Kentucky business that's going to be employing Kentuckians and providing access to folks that this can really help, that otherwise might be taking opioids, that might help them as they're going through their cancer treatments. So we appreciate this big step. We're also happy to announce that since January, a little more than 4 months ago, more than 12,000 Kentuckians have received a written certification, and more than 8,000 have successfully applied for and received a medical cannabis card. All right. This next segment I've been looking forward to, but also has me thinking about these last couple of years, because we have had an amazing poet laureate in Silas House these last couple of years. Kentucky is blessed to have a wealth of great literary voices, and every 2 years I look forward to recognizing one of those talented voices to represent Team Kentucky as our poet laureate. In 2023, I had the pleasure of appointing nationally acclaimed best-selling author Silas House to serve as our poet laureate. Silas has represented Kentucky well in that role. He's conducted numerous workshops, appearances, and lectures. He has been busy. Silas worked with our Kentucky State Parks to host writing workshops around the Commonwealth. He teamed up with the Kentucky Arts Council to create the Oral History Project, encouraging the collecting, preserving, and sharing of personal stories and experiences from past generations. Getting to know Silas well, I can tell you he's brought compassion and humanity at a time when we've really needed it, both in this state and in this country. He's done this job about as well as anybody could. So we're thrilled to have Silas with us today to share his experiences as our Poet Laureate.
It has been such an honor to serve as Poet Laureate for the Commonwealth of Kentucky for the past 2 years. In that time, this work has made my love for the state only deepen. I have had the opportunity to meet so many who are doing their best to be great neighbors and to make our world a better place. I have been especially moved by the children and young folks I've had the chance to visit with. I've gone to dozens of schools, libraries, universities, community meetings, and other gatherings that have renewed my faith in the heart of our state. I am thankful to everyone who has welcomed me with such hospitality into their spaces. I've also been fortunate to represent our state's literary arts across the nation. My number one goal has always been to make more people aware of how rich our literature is here in Kentucky and to make writing instruction more accessible. As the governor said, one of the ways we did this is through workshops I conducted at some of our state parks. This enabled us to offer writing lessons in areas that don't always have the easiest access to this kind of programming, and in these classes I was moved by the quality and beauty of the writing that was created there. One of my main projects as Poet Laureate was to create the curriculum that can be used in any school, K through 12, or even at the college level. I found that some of our public libraries are using it too, and this is the Listen Now Oral History Project. And even after my tenure is up, all of the instructions on how to implement this curriculum will remain on the website of the Kentucky Arts Council. The goal of the Listen Now project is to get our young people to talk and to listen to their elders. The curriculum gives detailed explanation on how they can take oral histories from the older people and their families and communities, including directions on how to record it, transcribe it, and preserve it. I hope every teacher and librarian out there listening will look for the Listen Now project and implement it in their classrooms and libraries. I am always happy to Zoom in with classes that are using it, and I'm going to ask that my email address be shared on the Kentucky Arts Council website after my tenure is done to make me accessible beyond my time as Poet Laureate for these classes. I wanted to make sure that people had access to completely free writing instruction during my time as Poet Laureate. So I created a podcast called Writing Lessons. In each episode, I am in conversation with a different writer to give those listening insights into the creative process. Each episode focuses on a different topic, including poetry, short stories, plot, characterization, even the daily life of a writer. The podcast is being listened to in classrooms and by anyone who wants to learn more about the craft of writing. And again, that's called Writing Lessons, and you can find it on any podcast platform. I want to thank Governor Beshear for this honor and to say that it has been a particular pleasure to serve in this role under an administration that seeks to serve everyone. He is a governor who cares deeply about the arts, especially the written word. He is also a governor who leads with empathy, and I have learned how to be more empathetic because of his leadership. The First Lady is a voracious reader who always celebrates the power and importance of books. Every single person I have worked with in this administration has renewed my faith in government. They have all gone above and beyond, making my job so much easier because they care so deeply about serving the people of the Commonwealth. Chief among them has been the Kentucky Arts Council. I want Kentuckians to know what good hands we are in with this administration, and I want all of them to know how grateful I am to them for their work. And everyone will be in especially good hands with the new Poet Laureate. So I will hush so we can all find out who that is. But first, thank you, Kentucky. I love you, and it has been my privilege to serve you.
Now, Team Kentucky is proud to announce that Kathleen Driscoll will be our next Poet Laureate, representing the Commonwealth in 2025 and 2026. An Oldham County native, Kathleen is the author of 6 acclaimed poetry collections, with her most recent work, Goat-Footed Gods, published by Carnegie Mellon University Press. Her other collections include the award-nominated Blue Etiquette Poems, a finalist for the Weatherford Award, and Next Door to the Dead, which not only received recognition as a Kentucky Voices selection from the University Press of Kentucky, but also won the Judy Gaines Young Book Award. In addition, her collection, Seed Across Snow, became a national bestseller. Kathleen has made a real impact on the Commonwealth's rich literary community through her poetry and passion for teaching. We are fortunate to have her as a guiding voice, encouraging future writers and supporting Kentuckians in pursuing their dreams right here in their new Kentucky home. Now, if everybody will join us in congratulating Kathleen Driscoll. Congratulations. The podium is yours.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Governor Beshear, for this honor, but also, and more importantly, for your consistent and genuine support for Kentucky writers and every artist across the Commonwealth. I also want to thank the Kentucky Arts Council for their ongoing efforts to keep the arts, all arts, but particularly writing, alive and available for all fellow Kentuckians. My writing has deep Kentucky roots, and I'm honored to be given this opportunity to serve Kentucky as the next state poet laureate. Of course, Silas House is a pretty hard act to follow. As a Kentucky writer, I've taken immense pride in his tenure as poet laureate. I'm grateful to have the examples of his talent, compassion, and generosity to rely upon as I crisscross the Commonwealth and do my best to help others find and deepen their own writing lives. Thank you so much, Silas, for being a friend to Kentucky, for being a friend to me, for being a friend to so many writers across the state. All genres of art are important, but there's something particularly humane about the work writers bring us. Language and creativity, at the end, are largely qualities that make us human, and so it's not surprising that for so many of us, when we find our writing lives, we find our authentic lives. We deepen our own ability to practice compassion, and we make lasting connections with our loved ones, our communities, and we carry our history forward. All Kentucky writers are working out of a long and meaningful tradition that we admire and we hold dear, but right now, right here in the Commonwealth, writing is flourishing in a way that can rival any other state in America. And that flourishing is not only happening by those teaching in universities and colleges, but I have to say that our universities and colleges are incredible greenhouses for emerging writers. Nor is that great work of Kentucky writers being done only by professionals. In communities small and large, cities small and large, writers and readers are working every day across the state to support and amplify what it means to be a Kentuckian in all our shapes and colors. The world of Kentucky letters is as various as our state's landscapes, and beautifully diverse Kentuckians who populate those hills, hollers, glades, plateaus, and prairie. I do consider myself a writer of place, but my work for the last 3 decades has been focused largely on about a square mile around where I live outside Louisville. What I've learned through that deep investigation of place is that we can write about anything we want, even if we choose to stay close to home. When I walk in a nearby park, or when I look out my window onto the small, humble graveyard that I live next to, through my imagination, I can find a whole world of things that I can write about, and those subjects are meaningful. I believe that when we engage our creativity, we are seeing evidence of the divine, the sacred. When we activate our imaginations, we are activating our capacity to love ourselves and to love one another. We create a world that demonstrates our shared humanity is strengthened through, paradoxically, writing about the differences among us. Writing has given me a life I could never have imagined as a working-class kid growing up in the farmlands and tobacco fields of Oldham County, and that was before Oldham County was cool. I might say I've been lucky, but for the realization that every good thing that has happened to me has happened through a connection with another writer willing to share what they knew with me and to point out opportunities for my work. I want to pay that forward and bring all those teachers with me in spirit during my poet laureateship. Again, I thank you, Governor Beshear, and the Kentucky Arts Council for this incredible honor and the opportunity to share what I know and what I love about writing and the writing life with others, and to learn from others in the Commonwealth. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
We will officially induct Kathleen on Thursday, April 24th at 10 a.m. here in the Capitol Rotunda during Kentucky Writers' Day. The ceremonial event will feature readings from Kathleen and Silas and the 2024 Kentucky Youth Poet Laureate, Myra Fossil, who is currently a junior at Northern Kentucky University. After Writers' Day, everyone is invited to the Paul Sawyer Public Library at 2:30, that's here in Frankfort, for a special reading from both present and past poet laureates. You know what's kind of special about that? When Frankfort got hit with the most recent flood, that's our library. And it was in the basement, all through the parking lot, almost up to the first floor. But it's going to be open, welcoming our poet laureates as the special place that it is. Both events are free and open to the public. I hope to see everyone there, and really exciting that we have such talent in the Rotunda today. Getting one book published is tough enough. And between the two of these, they've had so many writings that bring so much honor and recognition to the Commonwealth. So, from one set of artists to another, we are racing towards one of the most important times in the calendar here in the Commonwealth, the Kentucky Derby. This year we will celebrate the 151st running of the Derby, a signature event in sports, culture, and our Kentucky economy. Every year in early May, the world turns their attention to Churchill Downs for the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. And every year, Kentuckians share hospitality with hundreds of thousands of visitors, welcoming them to our new Kentucky home. Here in Kentucky, we know the Derby is much more than a 2-minute race. It's a whole season of great events celebrating the best that Kentucky has to offer. Throughout our history, our thriving horse racing industry has been a source of inspiration for artists. Whether it's the dedication of the jockeys, the power of the thoroughbreds, or the grandness of the crowds, the Derby is something we as Kentuckians take great pride in. Today, we get to come together for another time-honored tradition, the presentation of the Governor's Celebration Derby poster. And I'm glad the First Lady and Lieutenant Governor are joining me today for these great announcements. First, we're announcing that the artist for this year's Governor's Celebration Derby poster is Humberto Lajera. Come on. Humberto Lajera Gonzalez is an accomplished artist and advocate for cultural expression through art. By blending traditional Cuban artistry with Kentucky's rich heritage, he highlights the power of storytelling in visual mediums. This year's Derby poster, titled Unleashed at the Finish, captures the dynamic energy and challenges of the Kentucky Derby, symbolizing the obstacles faced in the pursuit of victory. Lahara was also selected as the artist for the Woodford Reserve Bottle for this year's Kentucky Derby. This guy's lived in Kentucky for 2 years, and he has scored both of these amazing opportunities because he is so good at what he does. Lahara's story encompasses what makes our new Kentucky home so special. His talent truly enriches our cultural landscape, and he is another reminder that the diversity of our backgrounds, of our thoughts, and of our experiences is always a strength and should never be considered a weakness. And regardless of what the federal government is talking about in terms of diversity on any given day, we're going to celebrate it, say it's a good thing, and we embrace it here in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. But this is about Umberto, and his artistry beautifully captures the spirit of the Derby, inspiring us all to appreciate the traditions and the stories that define this iconic event. So I'm going to invite him, along with Kentucky Derby Festival President and CEO Matt Gibson, to come up here and join us as we unveil the Governor's Celebration Derby poster. All right, are we ready? Would you like to discuss it?
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for the invitation. Thank you, Beshear, Governor Beshear. It is an honor for me to be here today. 2 years ago, I made the decision to emigrate to the United States, which turned out to be a major change in my life, both culturally and emotionally. Being exposed to an entirely new culture and set of tradition was reflected not only in me as a person, but also in my artistic work. The culture of Kentucky had a strong influence on me. I am an artist who is constantly seeking to grow through new ideas and the exploration of different styles. That influence led me to begin experimenting with various materials and techniques, blending my own culture with American culture, especially with that of Kentucky. With my painting titled Unleashed at the Finish, I wanted to capture an epic moment in the Derby race, showing how beautiful, vibrant, and full of life it can be, but also how challenging and full of obstacles it is. The Kentucky Derby carries a unique energy and joy, something I try to reflect in the vivid color of the painting, filled with symbols like the red roses and the twin spires of Churchill Downs. The jockey fighting through the race symbolizes sacrifice, and the horse pushing forward represents strength. One brings physical energy, the other mental focus and direction. It's perfect combination we all need to succeed. Strength, energy, and clarity of mind. The piece reflects the pursuit of our dreams and how along the way challenges appeared that turned the path to victory into a real test. But all of that is part of the process. This year has brought me very good things to my career. I was selected as the featured artist of Derby 151 for the Woodford Reserve Bottle, and today I'm also honored to be the featured artist for the Governor's Derby poster. I feel proud to be part of something that is meaningful and to contribute my art to the culture of Kentucky and the United States. Thank you.
And we are proud that Umberto is a Kentuckian who's making his art right here in the Commonwealth. So beginning in 1956 as a single event, the Kentucky Derby Festival has expanded into a month-long celebration of all things Kentucky Derby. Some of those fantastic events include the Great Balloon Race, we're going to have a Team Kentucky balloon, I think, this year, as well as, or we have a state parks. Yeah, we have a new Kentucky home balloon this year, as well as the Great Steamboat Race and, of course, the Pegasus Parade. A major part of the economic success in the Run for the Roses can be attributed to the state's tourism industry, including the extraordinary work done by the Kentucky Derby Festival. Today we're honored to have Matt Gibson as well as a lot of his team. We're proud to have them here. They're here in the most amazing blazers that shows how much they love the Derby. And let me tell you, they really do an incredible job in showing so much of the world over a month what the Derby is all about, but more importantly, what Kentucky is all about. The Kentucky Derby Festival also highlights the arts with a yearly poster. So I'd like to invite Matt to provide brief remarks and then unveil the 2025 Kentucky Derby Festival poster.
Thank you, everybody, for having us here today, and what amazing announcements today for Team Kentucky. It's an honor to be here. While we know the past few weeks have been challenging to the entire state, it is always a sense of pride for the Kentucky Derby Festival to really celebrate not only our community, but the 120 states of this great Commonwealth. Over recent research, we found that over 98% of those communities attend all of our events, which is fantastic, which really does spout that Team Kentucky mentality. And that's what Derby season is all about, bringing the community and this entire state together in celebration. The Derby Festival orchestrates the state's awards-winning celebration for more than 70 events, and we're really just getting started. We're proud to be the leading community celebration in the world. We're one of the largest in the world, and it comes with resounding support from the state and our partners. We have turned a 2-minute horse race into a month-long celebration and tourism attraction, and through recent numbers, our numbers continue to go up year after year. One of the first signs of spring is us unveiling the poster, and it's always in great partnership with the Governor's Choice, and you did a phenomenal job. You could feel the emotion and the creativity and what you brought to that. It is extraordinary. Our 2025 design was created by Louisville artist Kim Perry, who is joining me today, and captures the vibrant energy and excitement of the festival through bold colors, unique artistry, and showcases some of our favorite traditions. Kim is known for her original Kentucky-inspired pieces and describes her paintings as a love letter to the Commonwealth, and it really shows in all of her artwork as she continues to work. She has created the 45th poster in our season, in our series, and which launched in 1981. This year's poster is called A Season of Love. As you'll see momentarily, she said the inspiration for her creation was to spotlight the joy and tradition that define the Derby Festival, as well as the incredible sense of togetherness the festival brings to life, and that means more now than it has in a very, very long time. Now I'd like to invite Kim Perry and Al Cornish, our 2025 board chair, to actually unveil the poster. As you'll see, it encapsulates just a few of our events, but many of those that the governor announced. At this time, too, another tradition that we love to share is the iconic symbol of the Derby Festival that we want to leave you guys with today. Governor, today we brought the gold Pegasus pins for both of you, the First Lady and the Lieutenant Governor, and we wish you and everyone who joins us a very happy Derby. One of the favorite ways of sharing the Derby Festival each year is with the Pegasus pins. It helps us generate significant dollars and fundraising to invest in all of the events and the season that we bring to you. So it's our pleasure to present those to you and tell you how much we appreciate the partnership and everything you do for this great Commonwealth.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
I just got one thing more. Thank you to these amazing artists. It's just another example of how much talent we have here in Kentucky. I finally want to remind Kentuckians to join us on Saturday, April 26th for the Team Kentucky Derby Week Kickoff and Common Fest. This event is our way of starting the Derby festivities that week here in Frankfort. It all happens on the south lawn of the Capitol from noon to 5 p.m. We're going to have live music, artisan vendors, food trucks, breweries, wineries, and craft distillers, artists, a farmer's market, games, activities, balloon artists, and so much more. We love seeing Kentuckians gather and make good experiences at their capital, and we're looking forward to seeing people there. Since we've named our team Kentucky All-Stars, we'll open it up to questions. We have 2 journalists because we don't have a virtual option today. We'll start with Karen Czar. I haven't seen the figures on the economic impact of canceling Thunder, but it's 800,000 plus people in many years, so it's going to be significant. But with that said, it was the right decision. It would not have been safe. There was still debris everywhere. Current was still high in the Ohio River, and I think our mayor of Louisville, Mayor Greenberg, showed that he puts the lives and well-being and safety of the people of his city first, and I fully supported that decision. The cleanup that's going on in Louisville right now is astounding. I mean, people coming out and volunteering to clean up in public spaces because they want to put on the very best Derby. I think we're going to have everything up and running and ready more than in time to welcome several 100,000 of our closest friends just on Derby and Oaks, much less the rest of the week. Carolina. Yes. Well, we are working as fast as we can to get safe, reliable medical cannabis on the shelves for those who qualify for a card. I think as your visit to Ohio showed, these are massive facilities. You just heard about 100 plus new potential jobs in Kentucky from a cultivator, but you look at the processors and the rest, this is millions of dollars of equipment. It is a lot of science and a lot of technology that goes into it. Right now, we are hoping for late summer and the fall to potentially have product that's out there, but that is an estimate. What I can say is because of the way we set up our process, because of the way we did our lottery, we're moving faster than just about any other state. We're one of the only states that hasn't had the courts enjoin or enter an order stopping the ramp up of all of those businesses. In other states, we saw that, so we attempted to design a system that put the patient first and that assured we wouldn't have those legal impediments or the courts slowing us down. So this is one of our longest Team Kentucky updates in a while here in the Rotunda. Thrilled we had so many people join us. Really excited about the Derby. We got to see 4 incredible artists that were here. We named the new Poet Laureate. We were reminded of welcoming people to this Commonwealth and the incredible talents that they can bring. So looking forward to future Team Kentucky updates, though I hope I can do them shorter. Thank you.